Hello everybody, this is David here, and I'm going to be hunting bats. Mostly because I want a bat head. I decided this week I shall be wearing a bat head because it's funny. And it's, build up to Halloween season. Unfortunately I forgot that they're really annoying to hunt. But that's okay. One at a time you get there in the end. So this week, obviously, if you remember from a few episodes ago, this is the Rebel building in the main part of town. This week I'm going to be doing a lot of the prep work on and off the camera for filming. I'm going to be doing my first book. It's sort of like a movie audiobook, sorta. I don't know what to call it. Yeah. And this is the Rebel base, the Rebel building that we detailed earlier. I don't know how many episodes ago, but it was a little while. So part of the detailing, part of the extra stuff I need for filming to make it look like being filmed, like an actual backdrop, like an actual city, is this area needs to be detailed. So the walls are plain and boring, and the floor, the carpet stops here. Side rooms obviously don't need it. Can't really see anything, but I'll do detailing and figure out how to make the ceiling still produce light, but not be like that. And then everything can match this. I may actually make all the floor like this. Some of the carpet is specifically the way it is, so I can put, light underneath it in a way that looks like it's just matted carpet. Also need to finish the detailing on the outside. It's not filmed up here yet, but might as well get a start on. The first scene that I'm doing, which is like the intro and the dedication and the minimal lexicon that needs to be given. The camera goes out here, or it starts up there, and goes the length of this road to the park. Now, the length of this road is a problem because this is one of the earliest areas of the city. When I first started, I built the museum with the rainbow roof, and then I made the mall. And then I worked out where the park would be and put out a bunch of roads. And then I made the Rebel building. And then I started making factories and warehouses and stuff to meet the Rebel building to the park. I also had a really big project here that I wanted to do, and it just didn't work out, and I still don't know what to put there. But so all of these are very old. I've started trying to detail them by adding extra details, but this whole thing needs to be redone. I didn't base these buildings originally on real buildings, which is why they're just like boxes with extra decoration. So I need to detail and upgrade the appearance of all of these buildings along this road. The Rebel complex and this complex have to be the same. Like, what modifications I do to it have to be the same because they're in the storyline. They were owned by the same factory company, production company, which is why they have the same colors. That they're also have the same foundation, but so anything I do to the Rebel building to make it look like more realistic and pretty, I also have to do to this building, which is significantly bigger. Although at a minimum I only have to do the bits that the camera will see, so like that way and this side, and maybe that line But some of the other buildings need a lot more upgrading. This one here is a mess. I have tried to upgrade it like 4 or 5 times, and each time it's gotten less ugly, but it's still ugly as balls. This was the one I started trying to figure out how to make it look like windows had been boarded up. And this was where I first sort of tried out using signs for boarding up. I still need to fix it, it's a mess, and it needs to be fixed because it's on the corner, and this corner and this corner here with the benches are quite thematically important in the actual story, so I need to fix them. Another thing is you need to be able to look this way and at the end not see nothing, because you know when you go to right very far end, that's the end of the buildings. I'm either going to put an actual building across that intersection so that this road doesn't actually go this way, so it ends in a building, so at a distance you could just see the building to give the illusion that there's more city this way. Or I'll put the facades of 2 buildings on each, one on each corner, because the point I want to turn around sort of just over halfway. No, that one, this one, next to the ugly one, because this view is really nice of the hotel. But you could still see the blank corner. So I want just something to visually be seeable, so it looks like there's more buildings than there are. Because there will eventually be more buildings. I can only, I'm only one person. The person I had who might have been able to help me started a full-time job and couldn't help me. So I'm doing this by myself. And that's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. But the facings for all of these buildings are probably going to take at least 2 days. I also want the car parking lot, like this one, but you don't get to see that one. The Rebel car parking lot needs to be textured because it currently looks like a gaping void. Looks like you're walking on space, so it needs to be textured. Probably not to look like it's gravel, probably with black, black stone and stuff like that, so it looks like it's cracked, because this whole building complex has been abandoned for 100 years. And then I can fade it out to the actual road here that's mostly maintained by local body politics, tax, whatever. Although I suppose, because this is the area that's mostly abandoned, the local people, representatives of the local body government probably don't worry about maintaining these roads because they're not used very much. The last thing I need to look at is cars. I need to add, like, this area is dead and abandoned, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't have cars, but like the closer you get to the park, the more not abandoned buildings. Like, that's not an abandoned building, that's a pretty one that's actually inhabited. And there's the hotel there. And this used to be a set of shops and stuff. So there will be cars in all of these sorts of areas. So we need more cars. Problem is, the car pattern that I've got is actually ever so slightly, by like 2 meters, too long for the scale that I'm using in this city. So I'm not sure, and I still haven't figured out how to make the mod I've got for the armor stands. It doesn't work anymore. I updated to 18.2, and I can't use the armor stand mod. They still exist, but I can't modify any new armor stands. So adding more people, they will just look like an armor stand. Like, oops, wrong button. Ugh. Armor stand. And we'll get a bat head because I've only got a bat head. And I want more bat heads later, but so you can, they look almost like people. Oh, that's almost a person. Cool. But they've got no arms. And they just stand. So it may not necessarily look good if I just put a bunch of non-modified armor stands. I might have to bite the bullet and actually just update everything into 19 and see if that works. I'm not technically... it's been 20 years since I was really good with computers, so I'm kind of behind. I'll just clear that. I hate having things in my bar that I don't need. So, checklist. Cars, possible smattering of people, detailing of the fronts of these buildings, all the way to the end with either a building over the intersection or two buildings either side of the intersection, and detailing the outsides of this and the car parking lot. So hopefully I'll get all that done this week. The migraine is slowly inching away and getting better, so hopefully I'll get a bit more done this week. Anyway, sit on the roof. So, wish me luck, and cue the music. Welcome back. Me and my bat face. um, now I'm so not necessarily happy with the detailing. You know, close up it looks kind of silly, but I'm trusting the process. And the parking lot looks less like a black hole. Although it is strange to have, concrete powder and other bits, but I think it looks pretty good. From a distance, the detailing looks a lot better than up close, so I'll just go with it. I totally forgot to finish the balcony area, but I'll do that later. It's not going to be filmed probably at all, actually, for Rise of Hawk. I did the detailing all the way down the street, both sides of this street, and all the way to the end. It took a while, actually. It was like a whole day fiddling and getting annoyed with it, and then trying to trust the process, and I can see a pattern already. It's the only problem with being kind of pattern recognition focused. I see far too many patterns, and sometimes people don't see the patterns I see. Anyway, the detailing aside, I really like this build. I'm not sure it fits. Like, it looks too new for the area that this is supposed to be a part of. Even when I put detailing on the front, so it looks a little bit more aged. I might put the campfire out because it looks like it's not abandoned with fire. I mean, it could be, a place where in the story homeless people live, because it's a decent sized building. But I'm kind of proud of these water towers. I think the water towers are awesome. I haven't finished editing the my brain. The replay footage, even though you'll see it, you'll have seen it before listening to me talking right now. But I don't know if I'll put in the replay footage for this. This is what I started with. I like it, which is why I kept it, but I'm not sure if it's there. So I might put this elsewhere, or just leave it here and finish it later. I was getting too frustrated. I spent a whole day fiddling with the thing and changing the palette, and it's one of those things that probably needs time for my brain to chew on. So I found this clip art. It's not even a real building, it's a clip art building, and converted it to Minecraft. I must say, I've never actually, that I can remember, used mushroom stem, but I kind of like the pattern in it. It looks like lots of waters flowed down it, so it's got that sort of wobbly effect. I've done the floors off camera because floors are boring and very hard to film. I also put banners on all the windows and signs as boards over the front windows. So it's fairly pretty much finished, sort of. Well, at a basic level it's finished. The stairs, and there's a wall through the middle, and ceiling and lighting. I have to get used to the new lighting stats for 19. I'm so used to doing, a light 1, 2, light 1, 2, light, because that was the best way to stop mobs from spawning, and now it's like 15 or 12 or something, more than 10 anyway. But I'm pretty happy with this. Even the bright pink hat contrast. I'm currently just doing what's needed for the filming, and at the moment only this side needs to be finished. So eventually I'll come back and detail the rest, like the front of this one. I'll detail the back and the sides. At the moment I'm just kind of over detailing, as I'm sure you can understand. The next half of this episode is the buildings on the left side of the road. Now this, I think I'm going to have to just take down. Just take it down to bare bones, take it down to nothing, and then build another building. As a result of that, and of my seemingly never-ending migraine, this episode is going to be late. I think it's 4 weeks today. Usually my migraine's about 2 weeks, and this one, it keeps being triggered. Something stressful happens, and then I get it another few days, and then another stressful thing happens. But I want to take this down, and I want to replace it with a better building. I have this tunnel through 3 of the buildings. There's a tunnel there, there's a tunnel there. If you shoot over the top, there's another tunnel. It's meant to be a part of the sort of stormwater, big sewer sort of system for management, like, you know, access. Only much later did I realize that, you know, stormwater, at least in America, or seemingly in America, happens underground. They don't have big ass ditches like we do. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do with that tunnel. It does need to be, there's actually a bit of story later on, not in Rise of Hawk, but later on in the series, that uses that particular storm drain. So I'll sort that out later. I want to keep this but ugly one because I want it to be a municipal? The place where they check the water and the power, you know, with like a big fuse box. Because I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in New Zealand, our buildings where people maintain the kind of the core generators and stuff in different areas, like the big transfer stations for electricity and water, they're usually big ugly boxes, so that's perfect. But I'm going to be changing the faces of all of these, probably the sides as well, and this one, because this one looks like it was supposed to be a house, like a place to live, in the industrial zone. So I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty sure you don't build houses in industrial zones. Not fancy 3-story, you know, terracotta houses. This will probably get a new face as well. But this one I want to just take down. There's no way I can make it pretty. It's just a big ass box. It's years and years old. It was sort of one of the I pretty much did the Rainbow Museum over there and the mall, and then I outlined most of the roads, worked out where the park was, worked out where the tower was way over there, and then put the Rebels the original rebel building here. And then I started trying to build buildings back towards the center of town. So this is really early on. I've built this. I've actually tried to update it 3 times already. Originally it was just stone instead of polished andesite. And there was no windowsills. But I think it's time to just pull it down and figure something else out. And that's going to take a bit of time. I've got to find a building that's a block wide and long, almost. Blocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 9. That's 90 meters long. And looks like it's similar, or possibly more wide. Almost square. So it's almost 100 meters square. And that's a lot for a building. But I think I can do it. This one was harder. I don't know where that old building's going to go. Old, I mean, the building that was here, and I moved it. Maybe even go next door, I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Muse knows, or when it knows, I'll change things. But for now, my batty face. What do bats do? Do they just squeak? Squeaky, squeak, squeak. It's not as fun as meow. We can look back behind me at the ground. Here we go. That is a very cute face. Anyway, now for the second half. Wish me luck, and cue the music. And welcome back. And squeak squeak instead of meow. I think I prefer meow. I'm only wearing it because, Halloween is in sight. A lot of people are like obsessed with Christmas, but I like Halloween. So this episode has actually, in the real world, not in the what you've seen, taken a lot longer than I wanted it to, and I absolutely bit off more than I could chew. As I said in the mid-tro, I really like this building. Even if it's weird, it's like that one's in the background going, I'm jealous, I'm staring, grrr. But I still really like this one. I will finish that one and put it somewhere, probably further up. It's more in style with the stuff that's further up with the other warehouse complex. This complex I really like the look of. It took a ridiculous amount of time, like 2 whole straight days. One of those days was 8 hours, so the next day I was completely wrecked. But it was kind of worth it. It also took a whole day fiddling with the replay footage. I still haven't decided whether I should keep the chimneys on fire, because I love how it gives it animation, gives it some life, but it is meant to be an abandoned building. So, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we can, I could connect it to, maybe they're just using like 2 big furnaces in there, and there's like another building here that's actually used with cars and stuff. And maybe make this lane wider and put a truck in it, so it's like offloading rubbish or something to burn. But it's almost painful to have a chimney that hasn't got smoke coming out of it. We'll see what happens. But I like the fact that what I did was I just treated each section like its own building and gave it a related but similar theme. Like, I like the checker windows. Yeah, it looks really cool from the inside, actually. Oops. Oh, you can't really see it in the window because of the banners. But it does, the filter, the shaders don't notice, that the banners exist, so you get that nice reflection. I tried to make these windows look like they were sort of muddy or broken or whatever, because I saw someone do that, and they had like grey and black, and it looked really cool. It looked like it was, broken windows and muddy windows and stuff. It didn't really pull that off, mostly because I'm a bit of a stickler for consistency, but outside of the light, I really like how it looks. It looks kind of like it's got an extra shine to it, Yeah, so each section has its own bits and pieces, and this bit here I've been tracing a little bit. I want to add in sort of lines and cracks and stuff, so it looks like it was the center of a really big fire. I may even actually put most of the blocks turned into black stone. I'm particularly proud of these windows, so I made them that I used these, and you can't really put glass, like glass doesn't go up against stair blocks, so I thought I could make it look like it's been smashed in and boarded in from the back with little bits of lichen, so it looks like it's water damaged, and then I'll put the black stone in the back of this building. Oop! Yeah, smash my face against the building. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. See, this building, I put a lot of black stone and stuff, so from a distance it looks like it's been in a really bad fire, and that's the story for that building. So I thought the reason why this second building got shut down was because there was a really bad fire in this connecting building. I haven't decided why one part would stop the rest of it, but maybe it had like the power relays, or like, you know, it was the place where people slept, so a bunch of people got killed and no one wanted to work somewhere that had people who were murdered. Part of the rebel agency Araam history is that for a while, the second generation of the agency, there was a group of agents who were searching for traitors to arrest and conscript. Maybe they were getting rewarded or something, you know, getting a promotion or extra money or, I don't know, something. And what they did was they burnt down buildings to flush people out. Like if they suspected someone was a psychic, they would burn down their building or their possessions or where they worked or their house where they lived to flush them out or kill them. There is a reason the agency is the bad guy, because they're the bad guy. But yeah, this took a lot longer than I intended. I haven't done any of the other buildings along this road. I haven't added in cars. And I've only just remembered that this road is meant to be 2-lane, not 4. So I may have to add an extra or bring this, like totally change this into something else and make it wider. Depends. It's meant to be the left side, not the right side. They go smaller. Although I suppose it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. The kids zigzag. But see, like from a distance, that group of buildings, they look like the industrial district. So I'm quite happy with the whole area, minus the peeping Tom in the background. I will probably I want to put like a parking lot here, and then a smaller thingy here with a wall, and maybe another building here. But yeah, so I only got this far, and if I want to do any more, I'm going to have to do like another week's worth of work. So all of the texturing took ages, and I'm still looking at it going, it looks like Tetris. But they tell me that's what makes it look more realistic for other people, so I'll try and trust that. So I did a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. It's a week and a half worth of work. All the texturing. I don't know if I did it that way. Nope, did not. That's okay. That was one thing I forgot. In the second half replay, not replay footage, the montage, I was digging out the building that was here by hand, and I got right to the end where there was just like 2 floors and a roof left over, when I realized I could just use the clone function, because I just clone air blocks the same size as what I needed deleted, and I didn't need to cut all that, you know, punch all of that building by hand, which is why there's a pause of me standing there going, oh, why didn't I think of that? Damn it. And that's why the roof and everything goes poof all of a sudden, because I thought, right, screw it, I'll do it. So next time we shall move to the next block, and hopefully these buildings will look less will look more desirable. I'm trying to be positive to myself. It's not kind, considering I did this early on when I didn't know how to build. Pretty good for not knowing how to build. So, I'll see what happens. And I'll, there's some stuff underground I need to do as well. These lines, these storm drains need to be dug underneath this line. Because there's a side story that needs to be written where they are stuck on one side of the city and they go into storm drains, and Hawk, just by, you know, using my sarcastic voice, accidentally knows his way back to the main building under the city in the storm drains. This is a sneaky little so-and-so. Which is why he's so good at appearing to be practically supernatural when he's just a jerkface. Just a silly person. Magician in a past life. And that could actually be a thing, because they have past lives in this universe. So, actually, I'll go up on the water tower. Boop. Quite proud of these water towers. They took a bit of fiddling, but oh, looks like I'm floating. Nope. Right. Crack my neck. Whee! Let's make everyone dizzy and barf. Sorry, I'm in a silly mood today. So I've done quite a bit of work today, or this week, a week and a half, and I am going to be changing my schedule to probably like Mondays and Fridays, but like every other. So like if I post on a Friday, it won't be the following Monday, it'll be the Monday after that, so it'll be more than a week, but not quite 2 as my target. It seems to be about my comfy posting frequency. So we'll see what happens. Until then, until next time, Aranita sa.